Hi, I'm Alex Howard and I'm here with Anna Duschinsky, Director of Psychology at the Optimum Health Clinic, and this is the second video in our series of videos looking at some of the kind of sticking points or pitfalls people might have on the recovery path, looking specifically from a psychology perspective. So in the first video we talked about maladaptive stress response and how if that's still going on and you're not fundamentally in a healing state, things are not going to move forwards. So in this second video we want to talk about some of the underlying behavioural stuff that we kind of classify as predisposing factors or subtypes. Yeah. So why would they be important?
Okay, so we talked about the idea of getting into a healing state. I guess what we're talking about now and in the next couple of videos is the sort of issues that can come up that can make that harder, if you like, or that can get in the way of that. One of the things that we see very often with people is that, not to generalise too much, but we talk about the subtypes and we talk about the idea of being, say, an achiever. Mm-hmm. So really pushing and driving yourself, and the next thing is always, you know, the thing that you're working towards. And very often for achievers as well, that's how you get your sense of self, your sense of being okay. Or being a helper, and the idea that that really supporting everyone around you, giving love and attention and care to those around you is just your way of being in the world, and again, how you kind of feel good about yourself. And those are tendencies which in themselves have nothing to do with, you know, with being ill or being sick, but tend to underlie it. And what we say is that if you have those tendencies in a kind of way that's slightly out of balance, so it's not that it's intrinsically wrong to help people or to want to achieve, but if they really are driving forces in who you are and how you live, that's not going to be very sustainable for a very long time. So for very many of our patients, we see that those are some of the tendencies that in a way have caused them to get to a point where they have got to a real burnout state. And actually in the healing process, they can be issues as well if they aren't addressed. So if you think about, and I'll reference you here a little bit, but if you think about trying to kind of approach your own healing recovery journey, if you try and achieve at that, which I believe, you know, you may have some experience of, and really try and push and do everything, and actually there's a level where this can be a little bit helpful, but there's a point where that's going to become counterproductive because you're going to use all of your energy in doing it. Yeah,
it's one of the reasons why I was very pleased to get to write an updated section to why me, because it was like I realised that when the book was published, at that point, although I'd recovered, it's like I'd kind of recovered partly through this kind of driven achiever thing, and I realised as the years went on and we understood more about these things that I probably could have done the whole thing a lot faster if I tried to slow down. And I stopped trying to push it and achieve it. And that balancing of that kind of achiever tendency is really important. And I think it's also important to understand it's not that we're saying that you have to give up wanting to be successful at things in your life and have ambitions and dreams and that kind of thing, but it's being able to pursue those in a way which is supportive of your greater well-being. Definitely. And the same true of the helper. You know, someone's got a strong helper pattern. Our outcome is not that you become a selfish kind of person, but it's that you can give to others in such a way where you're also taking care of nourishing yourself as well.
And for patients where, you know, that helper tendency is a little out of balance, perhaps, you know, you'll be exhausted and in bed, and yet someone picks up the phone and says, or even picks up the phone and says, can you chat, can you talk, I've got an issue, or could you do this for me? And that tendency is to want to say yes, or even to say yes, even though you know that you really don't have anything to give at that point in time. And those are the kinds, just examples really, but just examples of the kinds of patterns that really can get in the way of you getting into a healing state. So looking at those, addressing them, really working on them and understanding what's going on there in a kind of very proactive way can really start to break those patterns and mean that you can, as you say, find healthy ways, sustainable ways of achieving in your life or of helping in your life and support yourself in your own recovery process.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So if you're watching this and, you know, again, the kind of the theme of these videos is you feel you're either at a glass ceiling or you keep kind of like you're going round and round on a Groundhog Day. First, look at maladaptive stress response. Secondly, have a look from a psychology perspective. Are there underlying behavioural patterns where you keep on tripping yourself up? And then what we're going to come to in the next video, you know, around pacing kind of leads on from this. So we look forward to hopefully talking with people on that video, you guys in that video very soon.